Morning, folks. How you doing? Ryan with Premier. I'm sitting in traffic. What is the difference between referring somebody and using them as a subcontractor? Because I have had some scenarios in the last couple of days that has made me feel like I was a subcontractor, but it turned out it was a referral. What are you fucking talking about, Ryan? A little wake and bake? No. Listen. So I got guys who I refer. You know, people will call me and say, "Hey, I need a driveway done," and I go, "Okay, call BK and Son. You know, here's his number, and tell him I called. He'll take care of you." And they say thank you, and that's it. It would be different if I looked at Brian and said, "Hey, I just had a customer call you, and if you put their driveway in, I need $200 from that driveway." You know? Now maybe he'd say, "Oh yeah, okay, fine." But how long before he's like, "Fuck this guy," and fuck him in his finder's fee or whatever, you know? Now, if I'm doing a job like I did over in Grafton, where, you know, we did some tennis court basketball construction out there, and I had a paver come in and do the paving, I did mark his work up because I had two representatives from my company there that day to oversee what they were doing, not in a supervisory position, but just kind of, look, it's our job. Someone from our company will be there, and he's available, or they were available, if the paver needed something. You know, "Hey, we need you to do this," or "Fucking go get this," or "Why isn't this here?" Like, someone's there. It's not on them. Okay, so yeah, I marked up a $21,500 job, like $1,500 to cover expenses for the day. You know, which is pretty cheap. But then I get people, you know, I had a guy call us yesterday from the South Shore, and he's like, "Hey, I got, you know, do you do tennis courts?" "Yeah, I do tennis courts." "Well, I'm a paver. I don't do tennis courts. But I had somebody ask me about fixing their tennis court. You know, is that something you could help us with?" "Yeah, sure. Give him my number." "Well, you give me the price, and then, you know, I'll tack on a little for myself, and then we'll go from there. So I need your best price." "Well, no, actually, I'm sorry. I gotta digress." He goes, you come out, you do your estimate, and then you leave a little bit on the bone for me, and then we both make out." And I'm like, how the fuck do we both make out on that? So leave some of my profit. Let's look at profit as if it was a giant juicy steak, okay? Because that's how I fucking look at it. So let's say you got this big giant juicy steak, and you're hungry, right? You're planning, I'm eating that whole fucking thing. And then some guy comes in the room, the cook comes in the room and goes, "How you like that steak? It's good stuff, huh?" "Yeah, I know. I made it." I'll tell you what, all that meat around the bone, yeah, you leave that for me. That's the best. That's the profit. That's the best meat right there. You know, that's the most flavorful part. I know. You leave it for me. Fuck you. You know. I said, "How about this, buddy? I'll come out. I'll tell you what the job costs to do, and then you can add on whatever you feel like you're entitled to. And if that blows up the deal for both of us, well, then we'll call it your fault. Okay?" Like, no, I'm not fucking leaving meat on the bone for you. All right? It's like, are you trying to take care of your customer, or are you trying to skim a little off the top? Because when I refer people to BK and Son, I'm doing it to help him out, to help his business be more successful, right? And I hope, and it has come back, you know, he will use us on certain jobs that he can't do himself or doesn't want to do himself. So One hand washes the other. But these fucking chowder heads down on the South Shore, I don't, no. So kiss my ass. I just don't understand. Like, I've had people who, it's mostly younger guys that, new paving companies that really don't know how it works yet. They'll come out and say, I need you to do a big crack filling job on this parking lot. And then it's like, oh, okay, no problem. And then it's like, how much do you think it's going to cost? I don't know, like $40,000. All right, so I'm going to put it in for 45. Well, listen, that 40,000 is already a high number. Okay? So you thinking you're going to squeeze an extra $5,000 out of it is just going to pretty much cost us both the job. So you need to be happy with the patchwork that you got on the job. And if you're going to sub it out, the crack filling out to us, you need to be happy with just knowing that portion of the job got done so that your patchwork job could also get done. Because I'm not going to blow up my deal. Like, if I need, like, if I need fencing done and shit like that, I'm not going to, all right, so if we're building a tennis court, you have a lot of different subcontractors
There's a speed trap ahead.
that are involved with building a tennis court. Okay, you got pavers, you got fencing companies, you got landscapers to put the place back together when you're done. So let's say we're building a tennis court and we're already at $75,000 without adding stuff on, right? And you have to add 5-7% to everybody else's number, and now that job is $86,000. Yeah, if you get it, good for you. You're gonna shove $11,000 extra that you didn't really have to do shit for in your pocket. All right, but what if it goes the other way? Sorry about that flash. What if it goes the other way? And what if that 11,000 puts you out of contention, pushes you right out of the wheelhouse? Would you have been happier just getting your portion of the job and knowing that everything else got done right? Or are you going to blow the whole job up so that you can get your $11,000 for fucking doing nothing? You're ripping the customer off. You're I don't know. I know people are going to sue you and be like, yeah, man, to get what you can get. Yeah. I fucking read your comments, you fucking people. I read your comments and I see it, and it's all, take what you can get, and, fucking blah, 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 fuck the customer. Some of you guys, I don't even know how you are still in business. I have a feeling that most of you are laborers working for other guys, or maybe are just starting out, because honestly, normally that shit ain't flying anywhere. So how do you handle your referrals or your subcontracting? I am interested. Let me know.